Well, good afternoon. How are you all this afternoon? It's good to see you, at least with one eye. Welcome to Integrative Preparedness. I'm Steve Smith. I wasn't going to make one this afternoon or another one today. I'm not, as you all know, I had a little, those who watched the one this morning about fear mongers uh, and the damage really that they do and why you need to stay away from them. Know that I went in for an eye surgery. Today I want to talk about uh, are we headed into a depression or are we in a depression? And the reason that I wanted to get right on this and do this is because as you also may know, I'm reviewing some other channels. I'm looking for positive channels, positive preparedness channels that that I can recommend. There's simply too many fear mongers out there, and I don't usually recommend channels because I've recommended them in the past and then been sorry that I did. And but I'm looking for more. So anyway, I was watching one a little earlier, and they came out, and up to this point I have liked them until they started telling everybody that we are in a depression right now, and so I'm going to address that. Okay, I'm going to tell you whether we're in a depression right now, and what you should think about it, what you should do to prepare, and everything like that. We're going to get to that in a second. But for those of you, first off, I want to thank everybody who wished me well and sent up prayers for my surgery this morning. The doctors tell me it went fine. Uh, I'll tell you what it was because I hadn't told you earlier, and I did tell kind of a funny story. I wasn't really looking forward to it. I'll tell you that. I had watched a video of it, and it was gruesome. And when I went past the pharmacy yesterday to pick up the prescriptions that I need for the post-operative care, the pharmacist asked me, he says, "You having cataract surgery?" And I said, "No," and I told him what it was, and he went, "Ugh." Well, of course, you can imagine how that made me look forward to it even more, right? So what I had was a vitrectomy, which one of our commenters from this morning said they had had, and a macula peel. Well, what that is, for those of you who care, and I know many of you do, and I thank you for caring, when the vitreous humor, which is the jelly-like stuff that's in your eyeball, it can separate from the back of the retina around the macula, and and that causes and then a kind of a scar tissue, a film forms between there, and that can cause a blurriness of that eye. And I don't like blurriness. I like to be able to see things clearly. I like to be able to see the faces of my kids and wife and everything else clearly, and the world around me. There's a song, right? I can see clearly now. Well, hopefully when this is done, I will, but we will see. I still see the world clearly, and that's what I want to talk about right now. So, are we headed into a depression? And there are even channels that are telling you we're in a depression, and I just hate to hear that. I hate it because it's simply not true. And right now, I tell you what, I'm trying to, I won't say that I'm trying to wean negative people off this channel. I don't want to. I want to help you get rid of your negativity. I want you to wean yourself off the negativity because it's damaging. It's hurtful. It keeps you from being able to prepare the best you can, and you should prepare because little things happen all the time, and big things happen occasionally. And if you are always operating in this fog of fear, you're never going to prepare as well as you could. And so that's what I'm about. Uh, I really enjoy it. I got a couple of comments. I think they were on Patreon, maybe one on the YouTube, and they said they used to fall for this fear porn in the preparedness world until they came on this channel, and they said this channel changed the entire way that they think about it and that they prepare. And I tell you, my mission is accomplished if that is what has happened. That's what I want. I want more positive, preparedness-minded people out there because those are the people who are going to do well. The reason I wrote my books, the reason that I used to teach all the things that I used to teach was to help people, and that's what I'm trying to do here. So let's get to this the subject at hand. I was watching this channel, and they came out and said that we may be headed for a depression, and they said, no, we are in a depression. That is so patently false. I was so disappointed to hear that from a channel that I had some pretty good vibes about. You know, these people who are trying to scare everyone about us being in a depression. Now, could we go into a depression? We could. And I'll tell you, if the last administration, it is political. People who try to talk about this and stay out of politics, they don't know what they're talking about. You can't. You see, depressions are caused politically. But we could have gone into a depression had this last election not gone the way it did. But we are not now. And people who think that we are need to crack open a book maybe and find out what a depression actually is. Now, I can't believe that everybody hasn't talked to parents, grandparents, whatever, and learned about the real depression, the Great Depression. Those who lived through it will say it wasn't that great, right? My parents were young kids. My parents were both born in 1926, so they were 4 years old. Or 3 years old when the crash came, and then lived through all of it in their development years. My grandparents, of course, were adults and had to raise their children through the Depression, and they did it. And many weren't able to do it. Why are some? Maybe I'll get to this in a minute. Why does it affect some and not others? But getting back to this, we are in no way in a depression. Now I know that disappoints many people. I know, isn't that crazy? It disappoints many people who want to think that we are. And if that's you, I want to help you. I want to reach us out. If you think we're in a depression, or if you want to believe we're in a depression, it's because you're not doing very well now. And I don't say that to put you down at all. I say that in order to say you can do better. You should do better. I want you to do better. That's the advice that I give in here all the time, or on the Prepping for Prosperity channel. You can do better, and you should. And the first thing you do is stop listening to people that tell you can't do any better and you're in a depression and everything's horrible. Okay? I'll tell you what, your life is what you make it. Well, that's easy for you to say. You live a nice life. Yeah, I live a nice life. It's a product of a whole lot of years of working my ass off and getting knocked down and getting back up and getting knocked down again, getting back up and losing everything and building back up and everything. Okay, this is not the voice of ignorance you're listening to. Okay, and nor is it the voice of a Pollyanna that says everything's just going to be great. It's the voice that's telling you that you are in control of your life. Nobody else. I don't give a darn what happens with the rest of the world. It's up to you to make sure that you are prepared to deal with it. Now, on this, the idea of a depression. So did I finish that thought? I think I still got some vestiges of the drugs they gave me here. But there's this, you've heard the saying, a recession is when your neighbor loses his job, and a depression is when you lose yours. Well, it's a cute saying, but that is not at all true. That, again, is simply an emotional saying that makes everybody nod their head and chuckle and go, oh, that's right. No, that's not. Yeah, you need to learn what a depression really is. And if you don't know what it is, go back and read about it. Watch some videos about it. You will see an unbelievably, depressing, okay? Hard times. I mean, how many of your kids are out there putting cardboard in their shoes to make them last a few more months, huh? Not many, probably, huh? Okay, that's depression. How many people out there are making a can of potato soup last 2 days by continuing to add water to it while they live in an apartment with no plumbing or heat. How many? Not many, all right? That's a depression. Get over this whining we're in a depression. Seriously, it just makes me want to, no, it doesn't make me want to tear my hair out. I like my hair. But it infuriates me that these people come out and sling this drivel around just trying to get people to watch them and to feel bad and to join them in their pity party of, oh, woe is me, aren't things terrible? Okay? Things aren't terrible for most people. The vast majority, and I know I occasionally get a comment, nobody's got any money. Listen, guys, if you don't think anybody has any money, you're hanging around the wrong people. You're doing the wrong things. I know this grew into some tough love by Uncle Steve, didn't it? Well, that's the truth. I don't know anybody who doesn't have any money. To the person who's going to come out and say nobody has any money, why is that true for you? You have the same opportunities that I've had and that other people have had. And you need to ask yourself that. Why is that? In the Great Depression, it just ruined many people, and it didn't ruin others. Why was that? Because others had prepared. Now, in that case, they had prepared financially. How about that? Have you heard that somewhere before? Yes, you've heard it from me over and over and over and over again, right? Over again, until some people just can't, they hate me. You can't believe the insults I get for saying that you ought to better yourself financially. Hey, you don't want to? Don't do it. It's not on me, right? It's on you. Go ahead and continue to live your life whining and singing the blues about, I ain't got nothing, well, you don't know what it's like if somebody loses your job. If you've been with me for a while, you know, and if you haven't, you're about to find out, that my wife and I both lost our jobs. Good jobs at a major healthcare chain. When we wouldn't take the poke, we both lost our jobs. Much money, big bennies. How did that affect us? Did it affect us? Yeah, it affected us. Did it knock us down? No. It knocked us back a half step until I built it up. You know why? We had, here's the magic word, guys, other streams of income. Did you know, by the time we lost our jobs, I had already put out my first 2 books. They didn't know. The hospital system thought they had us over a barrel. They couldn't believe we would give up those great jobs. Excuse me just a second. My kids are getting home. Put you on pause. Be right back to you. Okay, I'm back to you. False alarm. I thought that was 2 of my kids coming to the front door, and it's my second son upstairs creating a racket. But they couldn't believe that we would give up those great jobs. And so they thought they had us over a barrel, right? They said, you got to take they couldn't imagine we wouldn't take the poke to save those jobs. Nope, not going to do it. So as I said, I forget where I left off here. I had already published my first 2 books. By the time we lost our jobs, I was already making more money off my books than I was from that job. Well, Steve, I can't write a book. How do you know, number one? How do you know you can't write a book? And secondly, I'm not talking about the fact that you have to write a book. You can do something, can't you? I bet you can do a lot of things I can't do or don't want to do or whatever, or that you would be better at. You can do something. And part of preparing, a big part of preparing, is having those multiple income streams. And when we come, and a lot of people don't want to hear it, and that just blows me away. That people who claim to be preppers, and you know what? This is the difference between a prepper and a PMP, or a preparedness-minded person, because a PMP has extra streams of income because they have approached preparedness omnidimensionally, meaning in all dimensions. They haven't simply relied on rice and beans and guns and ammo and living separate from the system and things like that. You see, those people who have pursued this so-called prepper lifestyle are not prepared for much of anything when they're hit with an economic problem, like a depression, or even a recession, or loss of a personal job. And so they are not really preparedness-minded people. They're just hobby preppers. They're just doing it for fun. And even those who homestead, the good homesteaders, the good homestead PMPs, half of what they're doing is creating income, right? So my answer for you is this, very simply. No, we are not in a depression. And no, we are probably not headed for a depression. How can I say that? Because I know what a depression actually is, and I don't just throw around the term to get clicks and make people all scared. And if you are one of those who has been sucked in by these depression pimps, break loose. Break loose. They want you to be depressed. They don't want you to be better, because anybody who's telling you a lie does not have your best interest at heart. Oh, I know. I tell it straight, don't I? Well, that's the way I do it. That's the way I do it. So get away from these people. Stop listening to these people that want to tell you things are so horrible. You have many opportunities now. This is a coming time of opportunity, not a time of depression. If you're serious about preparedness, get out there, take the responsibility, and do it. Okay? If you want to know how to do it, I didn't bring my books over here, but you ought to read my books if you haven't. Okay? It's a great series of books. It's the Stonemont series. And there are more preparedness lessons in there than you can shake a bundle of sticks at, in a great story. I answer questions in those books that you wouldn't even think to ask, and you'll love the story. Okay? You can get them a couple of ways. The links are down below. You can get them through Amazon. They get them to you fast. You can get them from me, and that's the way I really like it, because then I get to sign them for you. Write a little note in there for you through our website, stonemont.us. Those links are down below. I get them to you a little more slowly than Amazon, but I get them to you. And then I kind of feel like we've become friends since you ordered, and I was able to sign a book to you. And then you also ought to come to our, put it on your calendar, our next annual gathering, which is going to be October 4th. And you're going to meet some just great people there. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. Stay away from these people. Stop listening to these people who want to sing you a sad song every day. They don't have your best interest at heart. I won't say that they're lying. I'll just tell you they're not telling you the truth. Maybe they just don't know the truth. But I tell you what, somebody who doesn't know the truth is the wrong person to take advice from. All right? Okay. You all have a great day. Remember, as we always say, we prepare well today in order to live well tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll get this thing off and see what we can see. It's supposed to take several months for it to really come back, but hey, whatever. We do the best we can, right? And thank you all for all your prayers and thoughts and everything like that. And I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.